It's a great pleasure for me to be here and to see all of you smiling, enthusiastic and ready to go. The fact that the clergy had 3 days with John Roberto and you only have one says only one thing. You learn 3 times faster than the clergy do. Jonathan has asked me to, is this working? This one?
Yeah.
Has asked me to acknowledge the country we meet on. We're becoming more and more aware, I think, in Australia of history, some of it very sad, and the need for us to build relationships and bridges with the First Peoples of this country. So we do acknowledge their care of the land, which we now share with them, and acknowledge their leaders, past and present. I've been asked to take just a few minutes to kind of launch you on your way today, and I'm very pleased to do that. And I want to do that by telling you about one of our schools that I visited last week. I visited to open the new primary school pod. What's a pod, you might well ask? Well, the door of the pod, right outside the door of the pod, is a huge trunk of a huge vine that goes from the ground up about 3 metres, maybe 4 metres. A bit like, if you imagine Jack and the Beanstalk, it's a bit like that, with these big tendrils reaching out over the primary school playground. The idea is that the kids follow the vine into the pod from wherever they are on the playground. Inside, there isn't a straight wall in sight. All the walls are curved in circles, some of them complete circles, some of them just arcs. No straight walls anywhere. All the walls have glass in them, or are completely transparent or translucent, so your eye is kind of drawn through spaces to further spaces in the distance. They're all kind of connected, but identifiable spaces. Immediately inside the main doors, around the foyer of the pod, there are huge touch screens connected to the internet, about 1.5 metres high and about 1 metre wide. Bigger than the primary school kids standing in front of them, touching. Down a ramp is the Imaginarium, a completely round room with no furniture at all except for 30 or so multicoloured cushions that the kids sit on the floor. They call them lily pads. The whole room, 3 metre high walls, round, a bit like this but perfectly round. The whole 360 degrees of these 3 metre high walls is one huge projection screen. We found ourselves in the middle of the Norwegian Alps, surrounded by spectacular peaks covered with snow and ice, 360 degrees. Until one of the kids pushed a button on their iPad, and then we were in the rover landing on Mars, with real footage of Mars, the rover tracks in the real red dust of Mars, 360 degrees, moving across the surface of Mars, real footage. Upstairs is another completely round room, this one formed by 33 glass panels, about 3 feet, about 3 metres high and 1 metre wide. They're white translucent glass. And the kids, each panel has a kid in front of it with a whiteboard marker writing on the glass panel, notes about whatever they're thinking about. The teacher presses a button and the white glass becomes completely transparent. That's so that when the kids go outside and stand around the walkway outside this room, they can see into it as they control drones flying in the room on their iPads. Downstairs, again, in a sunken pit with more lily pads in place, that's the pit where the kids program and control robots that move around all over the floor. The low walls of that open pit, they're not right to the ceiling, they're only about 4 feet high. The low walls of that pit are edged with lime green edging. That tells the kids that all those walls are writable surfaces. Lots of the classrooms are edged with lime green edges, so the kids write. Lots of the desks are lined with lime green, so the kids can take notes on the desk. As they work collaboratively together, they can see each other's work. If they want to keep a permanent record of what they've worked on, they take a photo of it with their iPad or laptop and put it in their electronic file. Across the way from the drone zone is a room that looks a bit more like a conventional classroom, except no straight walls, all curved. And in there, a Chinese class is being led by one of the primary school students who's controlling an animated presentation where the cartoon figures in the animations speak in Chinese, pronounce Chinese words. The word comes up in Chinese on the bottom of the screen, and the teacher is busy entertaining us, so the kid just keeps taking the class. One of the teachers tells me about his 3-year-old daughter who came to him with a picture she'd drawn one day of her mother, apparently to give to her mother as a present for Mother's Day. And the father said, "Oh, that's a lovely picture, darling. Mummy will be very pleased with it." And the kid said, "Don't be silly, Daddy. This is the plan. I'm going to print a 3D mummy to give to her for Mother's Day." So what's a pod? Well, in my day, it would have been called a library. I'll let you in on a secret. Things have changed.
Good.
The world is a very different place. We do things differently now. That's as true in relation to communicating, teaching, forming faith as it is of anything and everything else. Today you are going to have a wonderful, intoxicating, mind-bending experience that will transform how you go about doing faith formation. Don't make the mistake of thinking it's too hard. Don't make that mistake. If I can use PowerPoint, and if a 3-year-old girl can print a 3D mummy, you can do it too. Have a great day.
Thank you, Archbishop Phillip, for spending some time with us today.